Hey there, everybody. It's Dicebag again. Artist, world builder, game designer, and occasional VTuber here. And I'm doing a little something different this time. We're not doing a stream, we're actually doing a comic review. Yeah, so ever since I got on minds.com and started building a following there and following other people, I've picked up a few crowdfunding campaigns that I've contributed to, and they're all comics of people that I'm following over there. So I thought it'd be a good idea to just do some reviews for content, and because hey, why not? So this is Genesis number 1, and this is by Jason Doob. Now this thing, I wasn't really sure what I was getting into exactly. I basically just went by the art and said, hey, this looks neat, and why not? I'll get it. Let's see what it is. And I didn't have many expectations, so I wasn't really let down. But I will have some little criticisms and things to go through. Now, first off, the artwork. Now you can look at it. It ain't bad. The cover's looking pretty nice. There's a few little things like this hand right here. It's a little not quite looking like it's holding the umbrella there, but I mean that's kind of nitpicky fellow artist things. But it's a nice looking cover. And basically, what really drew me in to begin with was the character designs. Obviously, it's the first thing you see. It's the most prominent thing, and you see it constantly. I didn't really know much about the story, and frankly, I still don't. Unfortunately, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, art's looking good. You got cute characters. I like the way the style of dress they use. I just like the character designs in general. That's pretty much the number one thing about this that really got me. Now, I will say, as far as the art style is concerned, one thing that kind of bugs me, and this is very common in especially Western comics, is the line heaviness of it. I mean, you look at this, and this is Rose here. Rose, this character right here. You see, she's blonde, and look at how much lining there is in her hair. It almost kind of detracts from the blondness of her hair. There's so many lines, and that's how it is throughout the entire thing. Now, personally, I think if you're going to render your artwork in a comic, then using lines for shading and stuff is kind of superfluous and kind of detracts from the style in general. So personally, I like to go with a less liney version. And I think one thing, there's something I do when I am using lines. See, like on this bench, look how liney it is. It's kind of jarring and kind of detracts from the actual coloring. One thing I'll do is I'll make like a clipping mask over the line art, and I'll just like use a darker color of the line or the colors that are underneath it, and basically paint over the line art in that color, so it's not as profoundly black and jarring. And you got to kind of balance it out too. Sometimes you want it to be black, but you can do it as you will. And I think that would help a lot in art styles like this. Now, story. Story is probably where my main criticisms are here. So basically, I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but I can tell you what happened. Okay, so first things first, these two characters, Genesis over here, the goth girl, and then Rose, the blonde. Yeah, so Genesis goes up to her and immediately they become besties over the span of like a few minutes. That's that's a little weird, honestly. It doesn't really it doesn't feel right, you know? It just doesn't feel like that's how things would shape up. What I would have liked to see something happen. Actually, before I get into saying what how I would have fixed things, I will say one thing I often find in Western comics is that they don't devote the kind of page space you need towards character interactions, and this actually devotes a lot of space to it. So it doesn't have the problem of not devoting the space to it, but it does devote a little too much. And I'll talk about why here. So basically, these two hit it off for their very first meeting, and immediately they're best friends, and Rose is inviting her over to her birthday party, like, immediately. So, now, first of all, you don't need to show everything as it's happening. There's a lot of things you can do with comics that you can't really do with other mediums. And one of those things is you could make like a montage instead of just this whole thing, where it shows frames of them meeting up over the course of weeks or months, and it's narrated by one of the characters, and that kind of lessens the blow of the suddenness of their new friendship. So it makes more sense, and it actually doesn't really take up any more page space than what you've got going on here. And I think that would have worked out a lot better. It would have made it a little less immediate. Anyways, so yeah, they're going back to their house, Rose's mansion. She's a rich girl, and yeah, spoilers are coming up. So if you don't want spoilers, well, that's too bad. Unless you turn the video off, well, then you won't have spoilers, so you better do that now. But anyways, yeah. Rose's parents and her whole family actually turns out to be demons. And, things happen. Stuff goes down and bam. Wait, where did this come from? This just kind of happens. Rose just manifests these magic powers right here, and there's not any kind of lead up to it or anything. In fact, the past 2 pages was all close-ups of Genesis, and then this just happens. This could have been used a lot more build-up because it just comes out of freaking nowhere. And yeah, it finishes off. The demons get killed. Rose is sad that her family was eaten by demons and been replaced for years. And then, here's another thing that's a little weird. Like, immediately after this traumatizing experience, Genesis is all like, hey, let's go on an adventure and gather some heroes, the champions of heavens and light and whatnot. And it's like, okay, hold on. And yeah, Rose doesn't take that very well. Reasonably so. You might want to have let her cool down a little bit first, Genesis. That might have helped out. But yeah, then we get to the end, the epilogue, and I gotta say, I'm not too happy with the shift in the character designs here. These are, I was kind of sold on this by the cute girls in Victorian dresses aesthetic. This ain't that. If this is what the stuff is gonna look like in the next issue, you're gonna lose some points there. So, in general, yeah, it's not a bad read. I'd probably buy a second issue. But without your main selling point of cute girls in Victorian dresses, you're gonna have to sell it to me a little harder, you know? So, yeah, I guess that'll be it. I'm looking forward to seeing the next one, whenever that will be, and actually figuring out what the whole point behind everything is. But I guess that'll be it. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.